Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Other View Pod. Your hosts, Adelle, Nazarian, Ian, Miles, Cheong, and we're so honored today to have with us again Gary, the numbers guy. Gary, it's so great to have you on with us. We had a little malfunction last time, and thank you for joining us again to re-record this. Second time's a charm. So we want to dive into a lot of things. Gary is world renowned, and he's growing by the day in terms of recognition. He already has millions of followers. He's a master numerologist and a master number 33 at that. And we're so excited to have you with us to get some insight as to what exactly 33 tattoo.
I'm not a Freemason. That's the first thing people ask me. Am I a Freemason? I am not a Freemason. I don't have any issues with the Freemasons, but I like being the leader of my own group. And if I was a Freemason, I couldn't actually be the leader. So it is what it is. I want to get that out the way before people say, "Oh, this guy's just a Freemason." Nah, I'm not a Freemason.
Very valid points.
This is take two. Let's get the most out of it, guys.
Love it.
Yep.
Okay, so the big buzz on everyone's lips is President Donald Trump, right? You were the only numerologist at Trump's inauguration, and it wasn't the first time, right?
No, I visited the White House December 15th, 2020 at the, when they stole the election, and then he was in the final days of his first administration. And quite frankly, I think it was within a week, maybe 2 weeks of leaving the White House, my bank account was basically shut down. My wife's bank account was shut down, and so was my brother's bank account.
Wow.
This is the price you pay for supporting President Trump. And guess what? I do it all over again. Okay?
So,
I do it all over again.
Was this Bank of America that shut you down?
No, it wasn't Bank of America. I'm not going to put the bank out there, but it's one of the big four.
Okay, yeah, because right now they're being hit right now because they shut a lot of people down.
Yeah.
I think
Of course
Chase
they did
as well. Yeah, and they're all denying it. They're like, "Oh, we didn't do anything wrong." We don't shut people down based on politics. That's a lie.
Of course, Donald Trump is now president, and Donald Trump's got some teeth. So now, what has happened basically in Silicon Valley? Number
Bill's
one,
sucking up to him.
Mark Zuckerberg has bent the knee. And again, I have no issues with Mark. He's never suspended me on IG or anything like that. I think he's been fair with the way. Honestly, I think he's allowed more content that people give him credit for, especially with from the right. But let's not kid ourselves. Zuckerberg was over there, basically kissing the ring. Same thing with Jeff Bezos. He was over there kissing the ring. Elon already cut his deal with Trump. I think the day he got shot. Elon went straight forward and started supporting Donald Trump, which is, I don't have kind words to say about Elon, but that was big, man. And Elon did help him win the election. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely did.
See, that's the thing about me.
He did.
I want to make this abundantly clear. There's a difference between men and women. If a woman fucking hates you, she's going to hate. If she hates one thing about you, she's going to hate everything about you. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you look, everything. A man can hate somebody and still respect them and say, yo, this guy can do this and this and this. For instance, I have issues with Andrew Tate. I had issues with Andrew Tate before he became famous. But I still understand that Andrew Tate has one of the best mouthpieces in social media. That is the difference between a man and a woman. I can hate someone and still respect them, where if a woman hates somebody, it's game over.
Then Gary, you know what? I think there's so much merit to what you're saying because I'm one of the 28th, and I do think like a man in business. Because if I hate something about someone, I still can appreciate the good values that they have, the good qualities they have. And even call it out and say, you know what, they're a POS, whatever, but they're right about this. So
100%.
Yeah.
People born on the 28th. We'll get into that number quite often. We'll get into that later. But, just very quickly, 2 and 8 is 10. 1 and 0 is 1. 1 is masculine energy. How do you know that? Alpha starts with A. A is the first letter. The English language is coded based off numerology. What do ones like to do? They like to argue. A lot of people who argue for a living are lawyers and attorneys. Argues, first vowel A. Lawyer, attorney, first vowel A. What do? They argue the law A. So people who have one energy, like Sheryl Sandberg, who's a 28, or Jessica Alba, who are 28. By the way, probably like one of the few women who are self-made billionaires who didn't get it divorcing people. So again, it shows you that numerology supersedes even gender.
That's awesome.
What about Taylor Swift? What's she at?
Taylor Swift is a snake. And we can talk about that.
Let's do it.
Taylor Swift is born December 7th, 1989. No, I'm not sure if that's her. December 7th. Right, look it up real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
I think it's December 7th, 89. Damn, I usually have it off the top of my head.
It is December 13th, 89.
Okay, so December 13th, 89. She's a 7 life path, but you know, her and Elon have had some problems, haven't they?
Yeah.
Also, she's a loner.
Yeah, she's a snake. She's a snake. Snake and pig are enemy signs. So you're always going to see that. AOC, that's someone else who had a problem with Elon. AOC is born 1989, the year of the snake. So you're going to see Steve Bannon, someone, shout out to Steve, someone I consider a patriot. Steve Bannon is a snake. And again, he's been going at Elon. And Elon is a pig. Pig and snakes are enemy signs. So you're going to see this all throughout life, all throughout history. And we can just go through the enemy sign combinations right now. The first enemy sign combination is the horse and the rat. Does that explain why Kobe and Shaq didn't like each other?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, you know, let's RIP Kobe. But Kobe was born in 1978, the year of the rat. Sorry. He was born in 1978, the year of the horse. And he died in 2020, the year of the rat.
Wow.
Enemy signs. The next enemy sign combination is the ox and the goat. You know that one well. And when it comes down to people who are oxes and goats, we can see this throughout history. I'm going to spend some time on this one.
Please.
When it comes down to China, the communist regime in China started the country October 1949. 1949 is the year of the ox. They made a mistake by invading Vietnam in 1979, their enemy year, and they got their asses whooped. This is what happens when you do things in your enemy year. And quite frankly, if the Chinese want to invade Taiwan in 2027, good luck to you doing that in your enemy year, because that's when they're actually planning on doing it. Things could change.
It probably won't be 2027, given they pay attention to numerology, unlike a lot of Western governments.
Or they could do it next year.
They pay attention to this stuff. But do they actually apply it? I'm not sure the whole government applies. I'm pretty sure the Chinese president does.
Yeah, Xi Jinping definitely does.
Power. Yeah, he's a snake who is born 1953, year of the snake, and he came to power in 2013, the year of the snake, and he's president for life. Now, the reason the snake could do that is because he was basically the first president of China. Mao was a snake. Wow. So people who are snakes and oxes do very well. So in a ox nation, snakes will rise. But getting back to what I was saying between enemy signs, ox and goat, NATO founded 1949, the year of the ox, and Russia founded 1991, year of the goat. They have a proxy war going on in Ukraine right now. You know, one of the things I love about numerology and astrology, because I was always a historian. I'd probably be a historian if I wasn't a numerologist and astrologer. I always loved history. And one of my loves about history was studying World War II. How did a prostitute from Vienna named Adolf Hitler basically become one of the most powerful men in world history? And by the way, he was that. No matter if you like him or not, he definitely was one of the most powerful men in world history.
Absolutely was.
But he was born in the year of the ox. He had Europe under control in 1941, year of the snake. So the ox, Hitler, is on top of the world in 1941, year of the snake. And then what happened? 1943, he loses Stalingrad. He loses Kursk, the biggest tank battle in world history. That's it. It was only a matter of time before his regime collapsed.
Russia was
everything happened in his enemy year. Next one. There's another ox by the name of Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was born 1937, year of the ox. He took over Iraq in 1979, the year of the goat. So we have someone who came to power in his enemy year. He destroyed Iraq. Iraq was the crown jewel of the Middle East. He absolutely destroyed it. But let's go into the history. First Gulf War, 1991, year of the goat. Next Gulf War, 12 years later, 2003, year of the goat. So we have the ox who gets deposed in a goat year, just like Hitler started losing the war. And we got one more example, because I got plenty of these. when it comes down to history, if you understand numerology and astrology, you have such a cheat code in life. It is such a cheat code when you get this stuff. One
more example.
Barack Obama was born in the year of the ox. He signed a deal with Iran, 2015. That was his enemy year. Didn't work out too well.
No.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst deal of his administration, and Barack Obama did some fucked up shit. I honestly believe that was a money laundering operation, because he gave the Iranians about $2 billion in unmarked bills, so the Treasury Department couldn't track the money. It was basically a money laundering operation, because I'm 100% certain that the Iranians kicked some of that money back to Obama.
It always happens that way, though. Always happens that way. Any kind of, all the money that's being spent in Ukraine, for example, it's all going to circle back in form of lobbying and government contracts.
It already is. Look at where the money's going right now. A lot of it is just disappearing, or they're paying NGOs that, eventually circle back to Americans.
Why are they so benevolent with giving away your money in foreign aid? Because in America, it's very difficult to steal money unless you're Nancy Pelosi and just making these
you do it legally,
great stock trades. And by the way, Donald Trump, Biden didn't pardon Pelosi.
Interesting.
Go after the bitch. You can go after and he didn't do that on purpose, because he was mad at Pelosi for forcing him out and putting Kamala in. She was a big part of the reason he got forced out. So that's why he didn't pardon her. You can go after her. Make an example of politicians who make money on insider trading because of their positions. For God's sake, Nancy Pelosi is better than any AI ever invented at trading stocks. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
There's something to that point. I understand that Trump's, had a come to God moment, and he's changed, he's become more benevolent. But I say, and I'm so glad that he's sticking to his guns on this, he has to make an example. Because if he doesn't do it, it's going to happen to the next person. And he has to set the standard now. And so you're absolutely right. The first time around, he didn't wipe house. He didn't clean house with the Obama holdovers, and it caused him trouble. This time around, he's cleaning house. I think he is, at least, and I hope he is. So you're absolutely right. He has to make an example of these people who are just corrupting the system.
Now, Biden's a criminal. I agree with Elon on that. This is the Biden crime family. And you kind of feel bad for Biden. At least I do. He had this son called Beau Biden who died of brain cancer, I believe. And Beau Biden was supposed to be his bag man. He was supposed to be the guy who was running the money laundering operation. And then when he died, he had to go back on his crackhead son called Hunter Biden. You always got to feel bad for the guy, because he worked all his life to get in the White House so he could steal all this money. And then he has to rely on a crackhead who's sleeping with prostitutes all day. And, that's the one thing. You can't lie about people's kids. You can't lie about people's kids. Donald Trump has good kids. You can't say they're in trouble for this, in trouble for this. But yet when it comes down to the Biden family, you have nothing but corruption. And by the way, I don't blame Biden for pardoning his son. I don't blame that at all.
No, anyone would have done it, I think.
I think most people would have done that. Now, I do blame him for lying for 18 months, saying he wouldn't do it, because that's a blatant lie. But I don't blame him for doing it. And quite frankly, what's that?
Don't you expect it? Don't you expect these politicians to lie?
I do, but that's not an excuse.
It's not. I agree with you. I want that to stop.
That's not an excuse. That's just not an excuse.
Yeah, he shouldn't have, right? He shouldn't have, but he did.
He should have said, we haven't made that decision yet. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, instead he lied.
All he had to do.
Through his teeth.
I don't believe in pardoning. Instead of lying, that's all you have to say. And I'm going to make this abundantly clear. I don't care what type of criminal Joe Biden is, Donald Trump should not go after him. I do not want to live in a banana republic where when the opposition party comes to power, the leader goes to prison. I understand they tried to put Trump in prison. And if Trump did not win the election, he'll probably be sitting in a jail cell right now.
110%.
I get that. And I would probably be out this country, because I did a lot to convince influencers who I manage, and other people I'm in contact with to support Donald Trump, who had millions and millions of followers who were basically saying, yo, I don't want to support Trump because he's a Zionist. I convinced millions of these people to go for Trump through other people as well.
Wow.
And I understand they try to put you in prison, Donald Trump. I get that. But you have to be a better man about this and set an example where ex-presidents cannot go to prison.
I gotta tell you, Gary,
they can't do it.
And he won't go after Biden because he has more integrity than that. I have to tell you. But the thing is,
it's what pointed it. The guy's old. He's senile, right?
It's not just that. Yeah. I agree, but also, look, I don't think that Biden was fully in control. I think he was also being.
Oh, obviously not. There's a guy behind a teleprompter. It's a people behind a teleprompter control him. Yeah,
exactly.
So, Obama was basically puppet master of the Biden regime until April 2023. Obama lives in D.C. He's the only ex-president to live in Washington D.C. because he basically decided to live in D.C. because he runs the deep state. Not sure if people know that, but he was one of the main actors, one of the main leaders of the deep state. He handicapped Trump's first presidency 100% with investigation after investigation after investigation. But when it comes down to it, Donald Trump beat him. He beat these guys. They threw everything at Donald Trump, and he beat them. They tried to kill him. They killed his ex-wife. Yes. They killed his ex-wife. They killed his brother. They hit him with 34 felony counts. And he still won the election. This is the greatest political comeback since maybe Julius Caesar.
I have the chills.
This is our Caesar. This is literally our Caesar. And I was critical of Donald Trump in 2020 because I thought he should have fought harder. I thought he should have activated the Marines and went into the states in 2020, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, because the Marines answer to Donald Trump and the president alone. They don't answer anyone else. And quite frankly, we know the 2020 election was stolen. We know that because anyone with common sense knows that now. Obama got 66 million votes in 2012. Mm-hmm. And then let's see what happened.
Biden got 81 million. Doesn't make sense.
Clinton
Kamala gets like 67 million.
Yeah, Clinton got about 67 million votes. Biden gets 81 million votes, and then it goes back down to about 67 million votes. Where did those 15 million votes go? Did Thanos snap his fingers and they just disappeared? Did the COVID vaccine get them? What happened to those 15 million votes? This election was stolen, and Donald Trump needs to make examples of these people. We need to believe in our election process, because if we don't, we can't believe America has free and fair elections, who are we going to tell the rest of the world, this is a corrupt election, this is a corrupt election? It happens here too. Yeah. Donald Trump needs to make an example of these people, not with Obama, he's ex-president, not with Biden, he's an ex-president, but with people beneath him who had things to do with this election being stolen. Donald Trump is 3-0 in elections. He has never lost an election in his life. And these are straight up facts, and we know this is true.
Ian and I are with you.
But maybe it was a blessing in disguise.
No, I think it was a blessing in disguise because the Biden presidency was just so bad, right? So fucking awful that Trump is now rectifying it, and he looks really good doing so.
A lot of people could say that, we probably wouldn't have the debacle in Afghanistan if Trump was in office. We probably wouldn't have the war in Palestine, Israel if Trump was in office. We probably wouldn't have, we wouldn't have the war in Ukraine.
No,
we wouldn't have any of that. So there's a lot of bad stuff that happened. But now, Donald Trump coming back, he is literally the most powerful president in American history since George Washington.
Wow.
I want to make this clear. He's the most powerful president in American history since George Washington.
And you know what,
Gary?
Does this mean? And you know what, Gary? He wouldn't have been if he hadn't been taken advantage of in 2020. Honestly, it had to happen this way because America had to be saved.
And here's another thing, right?
Second consistent term, I think it would have been right back to the same old.
100%. Here's the big thing. So without 2020, right, we would not have seen a ramp up of transgenderism, DEI, all that stuff, CRT. Black Lives Matter, none of that would have happened, and it would have just been more Trump, but it would have stayed on the DL, and then afterwards it would have risen up. Now, what happens was all of that, happened. It happened bigly under Biden. He blew it all up. DI was all over the military, all over the government, CRT, all in colleges, and now Trump comes into power. He gets to kill all of it, and he has the mandate to do so because we know what the world looks like in a world that's run by DEI. We got 4 years of it. We don't want any of it anymore. It's done. It's finished. He has a mandate to get rid of all of it. And just today, right, he's getting rid of all transgender people in the military. He would not have been able to do this 4 years ago.
Nothing but love for Donald Trump.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing but love, because these transgenders are mentally ill.
Yes, they are.
They're mentally ill. But we have doctors who are taking advantage of mentally ill people and mutilating them. Yep. These doctors need to be held accountable.
Yes, they do.
They're literally need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
This is sick, and quite frankly, a lot of people need to go to jail for this.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of people need to go to jail for this. They need to answer for their crimes.
Yep.
I don't know how else to say it. These people need to see it inside of a jail cell.
I want to talk.
The reckoning is coming.
Reckoning is coming. Garrett, I want for the audience, you have a very strong base of loyal followers and growing, not just in America, but across the world. And I just want to say, for those in our audience today who aren't very familiar with how you got your start, how you've gotten into numerology, you stated before that you got into it because of 9/11. Would love if you could elaborate for our audience today and talk about 9/11, 11, all of that, so they can understand you better.
On September 11th, I woke up and I saw, the Twin Towers burning, and I thought I was watching the movie Die Hard. That's what I thought. I thought it was a Bruce Willis wood, and then, I woke up and I'm like, why is the movie on at 8 o'clock in the morning? Doesn't make any sense. And then when I saw that second plane hit, I was like, whoa, this shit's real. So, one of the things is, throughout that day, like right after I saw that happen, I rolled up a blunt. I went outside and I smoked one for all the people, who died. It is what it is, man. I went out there and I showed my respect to them. That's how I paid respect. And then, I saw that the first plane to hit the World Trade Center was Flight 11. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then, I saw that, the Twin Towers look like an 11 side by side. I saw they both had 110 stories. And I'm like, wait a second, this is kind of unusual. Is there anything else here? And then I saw the Pentagon, 11 letters, New York City, 11 letters, Afghanistan, 11 letters, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, again, Shanksville, 11 letters. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I started, going deeper and deeper into this. I'm like, wait a second, is someone doing something on purpose? And what hit me was, like I told you guys, I'm a historian. I love history. And I always remember that the Great War ended, World War I, which wasn't called World War I at the time. It was called the Great War.
Great War.
And it ended on 11/11 at exactly 11 o'clock. Not 10:55. They're still fighting bullets.
11 o'clock,
11 o'clock. So you have 11, 11, 11. That's when they stopped the war. At that point, I'm looking at all the 11s. I'm looking at the police code for emergency, which is 9/11. I'm like, wait a second, is someone doing something on purpose? Because at that point, I saw smoke. And then I started investigating Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden, and I saw Al-Qaeda was founded on August 11th. And I'm like, wait a second, the organization they're blaming on doing this was founded on the 11th? I'm like, something ain't right. And then, throughout history, you see Al-Qaeda hit Madrid, Spain. On March 11th, they hit Mumbai, India. On July 11th. I mean, their three biggest terrorist attacks were all on 11 days. So at this point, I'm like, okay, there's no way this is a coincidence. And it was about 2002 at this point. And I decided I'm going to go to all the top numerologists and talk to them. And, I got professional courtesy. These people talked to me on the phone. And I asked them, do you think it's possible that the elite are using numerology to plan terrorist attacks? They all said I was crazy. They all said this is nonsense. That's not how numerology works. And then I figured out all these people were poor. And I'm thinking, wait a second.
Why am I taking advice
if you guys are the best at what you guys do,
why are they poor?
Why are you poor? It didn't make any sense to me. So at that point, threw all the numerology books away, threw everything away, and I just started studying people. George W. Bush, 11 letters. Barack Obama, 11 letters. And by the way, Obama's the most interesting one of all. Obama, born 8/4/1961, 8/4/1961, adds up to 29, 2 9 and 11. He became president in 2009, 209, adds up to 11. He was president when he was 47 years old.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, we know what's going on here. And then I start looking at the list of all the greatest 11s throughout, American history. Obviously Donald Trump is the greatest now, but before then, the greatest Republican president in modern American history was Ronald Reagan. He was an 11 life path. A lot of people don't know this. Joe Biden is pretty much nothing. He's brain dead right now. But 20 years ago, that boy had a mouthpiece on him. He was really good. He's an 11 life path as well. So what I started noticing was a lot of these 11s tend to be in positions of power politically. You can go to Muammar Gaddafi, who ran Libya from 1969 to 2011. He's born 6/7/1942, adds up to an 11. He was in control of a country for 40 freaking years. Do you understand the type of charisma you have to control a country for 40 freaking years? Hosni Mubarak, born 5/4/1928, was in charge of Egypt for about 40 freaking years. I don't care what you think about their politics. I don't care if you're leftist or rightist. They're extremely good at what they do to stay in power for 4 decades. And I started looking at this. Tony Blair, another 11. So you start looking at this, and it's not just politicians. You start looking at athletes. Michael Jordan is an 11. And I noticed 11s are the best athletes. Michael Jordan, born 2/17/1963, adds up to an 11. Michael was Kobe Bryant's mentor. Kobe Bryant is born 8/23/1978, adds up to an 11. And again, if you add up all the numbers together, I did the math for you guys. You can, do it yourself. I'm not going to waste time doing every single one. But who was who did Kobe mentor? Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving is born 3/23/1992, and he's an 11. And by the way, Kyrie's all into numerology. Kobe is the 11th letter, K. Kyrie, the 11th letter, K. So this is all over, whether you look at sports, whether you look at politics, whether you look at world events. Katrina, you're going to notice a lot of these terrorist attacks or natural disasters happen on 11 days. The worst hurricane. The worst...
What was Helene, North Carolina?
What's that?
Helene in North Carolina. Hurricane.
It probably had some 11 energy. I just don't remember that one off the top of my head, but I know Katrina was the worst one.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
and Katrina happened on the 29th. 2 and 9 adds up to an 11. Katrina starts with a K. They told you. They told you what it was. You just have to be able to read between the lines. And to some people, I sound crazy right now.
No, you don't.
But some people are watching this. I'm going to look crazy to them. But I want you to understand something. This is how the elite run things. This is what they use. This is the knowledge they have. And they're telling you to read the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, all the other religious books, but they are using numerology and astrology. And I basically just proved that. No one can prove me wrong. I did not tell any lies here.
No.
All
this
that
is like
stuff
the movie
is absolutely real.
You ever watch the movie Pi? Such a great film. You have, right?
Well,
yeah. And he notices like the numbers, like the number of God, right? And it's like this reminds me of that. It's like where he decodes the universe, so to speak. And for a lot of people, I think if they want to look for answers, maybe this is it. I don't know. I'm personally skeptical, but the universe is a weird place.
Men lie. We know women lie, but numbers never lie. Remember that.
That's good.
Numbers are God's language. That is how God, or what I call the prime creator, communicates us. Numerology is a gift from the prime creator.
You're right.
He gave us a path.
So you know
what? The English language is basically covered with numerology because the people who created the English language, they used numerology in its creation.
So what do you think about gematria?
Listen, it's real. The only difference is you can change names, you can't change birthdays.
Okay, got it.
So, that's the difference. But yeah, I use gematria all the time. We just start talking about Kobe K, Kyrie K. K is the 11th letter. It's all there. Katrina K. It's all there. By the way, the biggest crash in Wall Street history, October 29th, 1929. Again, on the 29th. It's always there, guys.
Wow.
Doesn't matter if it's a natural disaster, a financial meltdown, or a war. It's always around those dates.
So let's shift a little bit. We're talking about world leaders, right? And their impact. Most are life path 11s, most of the dictators. Can we
Yes.
talk for a moment about Vladimir Putin, October 7th, 1952?
Yeah. He's a very, very smart man.
Very.
He's a 7 life path. And quite frankly, we need to be friends with Russia. Russia is not our enemy. Russia is the deep state's enemy. Russia is not America's enemy. We need to have a pact with Vladimir Putin. And quite frankly, I think that's still possible.
I think so too.
But if you want,
I think so too. Yeah.
and if you go and you look at Vladimir Putin, he has a very, very interesting history. Vladimir Putin is born in the year of the dragon. He came to power in 2000, which is the year of the dragon. So you have a dragon coming to power in a dragon year, and he's been running that country like a strong man for a long time. Let's make no mistake. Russia is a mob-run dictatorship. There is no doubt about that. But I can tell you with everything I know, Vladimir Putin loves his country.
He does.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, he
Joe
does.
Biden doesn't love America. He just wants to steal as much
Biden wants
money
to
as
sell
possible.
America out.
100%. So we have a leader there who actually loves his nation. Excuse me. When it comes down to the mistake the Americans made, well, actually Hillary Clinton made, was that she decided to try to run a revolt against Vladimir Putin in 2012. What kind of moron tries to take a dragon out in a dragon year? What are you, out your mind?
He's much smarter
You
than
think
her.
you think you're gonna depose a dragon in a dragon year? Are you out your mind, Clintons? And again,
Here's
we're
our
talking
plan.
about the Clinton crime family.
Yep.
You know, this is a whole different ball game. We'll get into them
we
later.
could go into Arkansas and
we
how
could
they ran this whole corruption
of
racket.
course, 100%, man. And
1986 was it? I mean, they helped the CIA basically launder money there. You know, with all
100%.
the Iran Contras. Yeah.
And the CIA made mistakes with this too.
They
in
did.
2002, the CIA overthrew Hugo Chavez in Venezuela. And if it was a failed coup because they went after Hugo Chavez, a horse, in 2002, a horse year.
Wow.
So again, you don't go after people in their own year. You're gonna fail. This is stuff I've seen throughout history. You just don't do that.
That's incredible.
And before I forget, let's go back through all the other enemy sign combinations. We talked about the pig and the. We talked about the rat and the horse. We talked about the ox and the goat. Let's talk about the tiger and the monkey. Those are enemy signs. The prime minister of India Modi is born in the tiger year. Before he was prime minister, he was on no-fly list to America. America founded in 1776, the year of the monkey. So the prime minister, before he was a prime minister, was actually barred from coming to America. Enemy signs. How many Hollywood actors do you know who went to jail for tax evasion?
I can't think of any.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. He said that, not me. Wesley Snipes is born in the tiger year. So, see, most people will start going around saying, oh my God, they locked up a black man. This racist-ass America. Nah, motherfucker, it has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with, he is born in the tiger year, America's a monkey year. Boom! That's what happens. You guys know of a guy named Dan Bazarian?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Okay.
huge anti-Semite. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Dan Bazarian is born in 1980, the year of the monkey. Do you know him and his dad are actually suing each other?
I did not know that. That's news to me.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
And his dad is a tiger. So again, he can study the Quran or the Talmud all he wants. This is what the real knowledge is.
He read
right
the Talmud
here.
in what?
This is what the real knowledge is. Right here. Okay. This is
this
above the
motherfucker,
Talmud.
he read the Talmud,
This
which
is
takes
above
years
everything.
of training. Years of training. He read it in 2 hours. Yeah, I'm like, okay, Dan. Sure, buddy. read the Talmud.
Listen. I will say this. I do not like political Zionism. I don't like how they push homosexuality, how they push transgenderism, how they push pornography, how they push feminism. I'm saying this as a Jew. I don't like that shit.
You're making
it's
a
a
key
problem.
differentiation, though, right? It's not Zionism. It's
Yes.
political Zionism, right?
Political Zionism. I
It's
have
Political
a
Zionism
big,
versus like
big
you know,
issue. I got a
national
big
Zionism.
issue with political Zionism. If you're asking me if Israel has the right to defend themselves, of course they do. Of
Absolutely.
course they do. They have a right to defend
And
themselves.
to exist.
Now, Do I think they should do something about Palestine? Yes, I've been saying this for over a year. All the people in Palestine should either go to Egypt or Jordan.
It's funny you say
And
that.
they should be given. And I've been saying this for over a year, and now my president, your president, is saying the exact same thing.
Yes, it is.
Listen, I have no issues with the American taxpayer paying every single man, woman, and child who's not part of Hamas $10,000 to relocate them to Egypt or Jordan, and I'm willing to pay that as an American taxpayer. I don't want anyone. I'm willing to do that. Well, how much is that going to cost? They have like 1.5 million people there. What's going to cost us? Like 10 billion, $50 billion? We give that money in Israeli aid every freaking year anyway. We might as well pay these people to leave and be in peace. And then here's what's going to happen. That land in Gaza, they're going to start rebuilding it. It's probably going to be some kind of resort. And I want it engraved in their constitution, whoever takes over Gaza, that some of that money has to go to the Palestinians every single year. You're not taking people's lands without paying for it. That's my opinion. I think that's how it has to settle, because I want these Arabs to know something. You can preach that Allah stuff all you want. You guys don't win wars. Okay? You guys do not win wars. You haven't won any wars since the Ottoman Empire.
And Gary, I gotta tell you something. There's something that is really important here. Something we get into another time or here. The Quran is mistranslated. Literally, a lot of stuff written in it is not exactly as it's being portrayed or presented. So that's
I have no idea because I've never read it.
Yeah, it's a lot of mistranslations.
I've heard some things. I've heard people say otherwise, but I think you'd have to speak to like an actual Quranic scholar to have that conversation. Personally,
I've talked to many people who are imams, and I've actually argued with some of them. But I want to say this: I have respect for Islam.
Absolutely,
I have the utmost respect for Islam. Listen, I'm going to be very frank. I'm going to start upsetting people right now, but it is what it is. If you look at Muslim nations, the women in Muslim nations have very low body counts. I'm sorry, it's true.
That's true.
You're right.
Muslim women have very low body counts. If you go look at all the so-called Christian nations, America, UK, Canada.
The problem with the West is that they're no longer Christian nations. They used to be Christian nations, which follow Christianity. Now, it's mostly secular, right? There's a lot of godlessness. If you look at any European country, ask how many of them believe in God, and it's like less than 20%. So
the same people were screaming Christ is King, in the West, and again, America, Canada, UK. The women there have huge body counts.
A lot of them are just hypocrites.
They identify.
They love to
Christians.
say it. They love to pretend to go to church. I know a lot of these people, but behind closed doors, they're saying other things. So online, they're all about Christ is King. We love Jesus, but offline, it's like, hey, where the hookers at?
Unfortunately, it's the degradation of the culture. Also, it's a very
it definitely
they don't live as Christians, right? They don't live as Christians. Now, I'm not impugning like actual Christians. Like I know a lot of good Christians who follow the teachings of Jesus, and they don't do this. But there's a lot of people that are pretending to be Christians who just are Christian in name only. We talk about rhinos a lot, but no one talks about the Christians in name only.
I see too many OnlyFans whores with Christian necklaces on and stuff like that. But here's the fact: no matter what anyone says, there's a lot of whores in Western nations, and they identify as being Christians.
Yeah, they do.
So this is not my problem. I'm not Christian. This is something for you guys to fix.
Well, Gary, also, look at pop culture. Look at Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. Sorry to say. Like, the way she was dressing up as a schoolgirl with the cross, inappropriate.
Oh, yeah, it's creepy as fuck. That's like, who does that even attract, right? The whole schoolgirl outfit. She's, 19, 20 at the time, and she's dressing like she's 12. It's quite clear who our audience is.
We have to start asking who's running Hollywood, who's running these, and it all goes back to political Zionism. I'm sorry if that offends people. It is what it is.
Very interesting.
It is what it is. See, I am a Jew, but I will go after everybody. I don't care if you're a Christian, Muslim, Jew. I will go after, because to me, the only thing that matters is the truth. I'm already set. I'm already set for life. What are you guys going to do for me? Shut my bank accounts down anymore? I got plenty of crypto. You guys can't do anything for me anymore.
I don't think it's so much, though, associated with the religion, the Hollywood thing. of course, there's people in Hollywood who happen to be Jewish also, but I think it's more so the fact that they're weak to the flesh. That's what it all comes down to. And they know that sex sells. And I think that
Yep.
it cuts across every single faith. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, look at Hugh Hefner, right? Yeah.
But
Larry
let's who owns Pornhub? Who owns all these porn sites? Who owns OnlyFans?
A Canadian owns it. A Canadian owns it. Mind free.
And he happens to be Jewish. So
I don't know about that.
It is what it is. It is the guy who owns OnlyFans is Jewish.
OnlyFans, I know.
OnlyFans. The guy who owns Pornhub is a rabbi.
Pornhub is not
a rabbi. One of the main guys who has interest. It's not just one guy, but one of the guys who has major stock.
One of the guys, But you know, the funny thing is whenever people talk about Zionists running OnlyFans or whatever, or they happen to be a Jew. Yeah. Everybody tends to ignore the Christians that are also running these organizations.
I'm shitting on them too. But you don't see Muslims doing this shit.
No, you don't.
That's why I keep. That's
the one thing. Yeah, they're not hypocrites.
Not publicly, at least. Not publicly, at least. Maybe they do it behind closed doors.
They're investors behind the scenes
Maybe
too.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're not doing it publicly. Okay. And when you do it publicly, that spreads degeneracy. So again, I want to say this. I consider Jews the smartest people in the world. It's not even close. And if that offends people, I don't give a fuck.
You just offended Nick Fuentes here. You just offended Nick Fuentes.
I don't give a fuck. Okay, listen. Nick Fuentes. Okay, let's since we brought Nick Fuentes up, let's go back to astrology. Who are some of those banned people on social media? Andrew Tate.
Yep.
Right? Nick Fuentes. Do you agree? Those are some of the most banned people on social media. They're both tigers.
Okay.
And America's a monkey country. You see how this? Andrew Tate shits on the city of Miami all the time. Miami is a monkey city. He's a tiger. Let's go to Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's born in the tiger year. In 2016, he had to tap out of boxing because someone fucked up his eye in his enemy year. Yeah, Andrew. 2016 was a monkey year. You're a tiger. And then when did this son of a bitch start getting famous? 2022, the year of the tiger. So a tiger gets famous in the tiger year. It doesn't stop there. Mr. Beast is a tiger.
Okay.
He got his first $1 billion evaluation in 2022, a tiger year. And this one you're going to love. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is born 1962, the year of the tiger. He made his first name for himself in 1986 with the movie Top Gun. Top Gun was made in the year of the tiger, 1986. He remade Top Gun for Top Gun 2 in 2022, which is, again, a tiger year. You see how this works? It doesn't matter where you go with this. I'm always going to be able to connect it because I understand how energy works.
Damn it, you're really selling me.
Now let's go back. Now let's go back to Nick Fuentes.
Okay.
Nick Fuentes is a piece of shit. Okay, but I'm going to say this: at least he shows you who his face is, and at least he shows you what his real name is. And for that reason, I don't think he should be suspended. I believe
he's not.
Speech.
At least not an X. Yeah.
I don't think he should be suspended. Honestly, Elon should give him his blue check mark back. He is showing his real face. He is showing his real name. He is standing behind what he says. I don't care if you believe in it or not. This is what free speech is. He calls me a Jew. The Groypers have attacked me more than almost anyone else on X. Go through my Twitter account. It's nothing but fat Jew every 2 seconds with these guys. That's all it is with these people. But I want to say this. It's the people like Truth Teller. It's the people like Ian or all these other people who have like 50, 60,000 who don't show you their real name, who do not show you their face. These people need to be suspended because they have no skin in the game. They are inciting violence sometimes. Right. They are inciting things, and they're not even showing you who they are. They have no skin in the fucking game. I think these people should be removed from social media. And quite frankly, if you want to talk politics, we need to know what your name is and what your face is. Stand behind what the fuck you say. I stand behind what you say. Myron Gaines, I manage Fresh and Fit. He says a lot of things about Jews and Zionists. Guess what? He's probably right. He's probably right about some of them. But I'm going to say this. He tells you what his real name is. He tells you what his real face is. Elijah Schaffer, real name, real face. Stu Peters, real name, real face. I might not agree with what they say, but I respect what their right to do it because they show their real name and their real face. These clowns who go around just calling people F this, or, a whole bunch of slurs and stuff like that. I don't want to say this because I'm not sure if you can say it here.
we won't be able to
You know,
monetize if you
exactly. So
cuss too
I don't
much.
want to. I'm not going to say it. You know exactly what I mean by the F.
Yeah.
They say this, and I use that word too. But here's the whole
Obviously,
point.
yeah, you can use it offline.
You
Yeah.
cannot.
Go ahead.
You cannot do stuff like that and not show people what your real face and real name is.
100%.
So
I mean, put your face behind your words,
yes,
right? Don't be a fucking pussy.
Agree with that.
100%. I have asked the Trump administration or people within the Trump administration to look at starting some kind of ID process where if people want to talk politics,
they're gonna hate you for
argue,
this.
I don't give a fuck what they do. I don't give a fuck.
Everyone who loves anonymity is gonna hate you for this. Like,
they can all go to hell. You're all fucking cowards. You won't even show me what your real face is. You have no value. It's like a poor person. It's like a poor person giving me financial advice. A fat person giving me fucking fitness advice. I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah. You have no value. Your words have no value. You can go to fucking hell.
So I agree with you.
They need all to be suspended.
They're cowering behind their screen. Completely agree. I want to shift a little bit for a second back to.
Can I just finish this? Can I just finish one thing? I know you want to shift. Your show. I just want to say this: if people are worried about free speech, then they can go on any website anonymously, but you cannot post. You cannot post. You can go on websites and see everything. You don't have to post your real name and your real face, but you just can't be included in the political dialogue unless your real name and real face is there.
That's a great point.
And if you do that,
but it's not going to happen,
back slightly here on this. So anonymity, right, is I would say important, at least in places like the UK, where if you share any kind of views, like publicly, and you got your face out there, a police officer is going to show up and probably arrest you for it. That's why it is important to have it in places like that. Maybe not so much in the U.S. where you won't be arrested.
Maybe so, but quite frankly, Donald Trump should put sanctions on the UK
until
they release until they release all the political prisoners they have who are put in prison because of twins.
Yeah, free Tommy Robinson.
I don't know too much about Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, I know a lot about him. I'm his friend. I say free Tommy Robinson. He has been covering a lot of these cases that no one else wanted to talk about. So he needs to be freed. And the fact that they go after him like that is just disgraceful.
Okay, let's talk about this. You talk a lot about countries, right? And how you've been able to talk about how different countries will experience boons and difficult times based on, for example, the years they were founded. If you look at a country, right? And you look at the year that it was founded, can you essentially predict events that will occur in that location based on numerology?
Exact events? No, but I can say if it's going to be a good or bad year for the currency, for the people within the country. And we can go down the list. The year of the snake starts on January 29th, which is basically 48 hours from now. And the UK is going to get hit. The UK is found in the pig year.
Good.
So the UK is going to get hit hard in 2025. I encourage the Trump administration to put sanctions on that country until they release all political prisoners who have been arrested for their tweets. For God's sake, Vladimir Putin doesn't put as many people in prison as the UK does. It's a police state.
Wow.
It's a literal police state. And, I don't like Andrew Tate. I really despise that son of a bitch. But when it comes down to it, he's the lesser evil. And at this point, I would have no choice but to support someone I hate for prime minister. It's a mind-boggling that I would say something like that. But we can't have fucking people who protect pedophiles. And Tommy Robinson, my guy Suleiman wants to debate him, so we'll see how that works.
The funny thing, is never mind. You go first. I forgot. I had something. I had something huge.
A shout out to Sneeko, a Muslim influencer. Shout out to Suleiman, a Muslim influencer. Shout out to my boy Myron, who all went hardcore for Donald Trump. Shout out to all of them. Okay? No matter what you think about these people, they told their followers, and they got millions of followers, to go and support Donald Trump. So no matter what you think about them personally, Sneeko,
credit to them for that. Yeah.
Myron, they all went hard for Donald Trump.
Ian,
and I want to say thank you for him.
I just wrote an op-ed published in the Western Journal about how this is Muslim Americans' MAGA moment and how Trump MAGA needs to look at this traditionally Republican base that was somehow fooled into going to the other side, and they're coming back home to roost. They're coming right back home.
That's a good thing.
And you know what I mean? I'll send you a copy of it too. It's so true.
100%.
A really funny thing, actually. You mentioned earlier the whole thing about China being a year of the ox, right? Founded in 1949, the year of the ox. Is that right?
Dictators.
So,
Dictators.
funny enough, I speak Mandarin Chinese. I'm born the year of the ox, and I studied Mandarin. How funny is that? Sorry.
Talk to him.
我很高兴谈话跟你们就是很
How do we know you're not a Chinese spy right now? Are you a Chinese spy?
No, wait. I knew China would be the main, honestly, well, let's say economic nemesis of the U.S. I was always fascinated to understand.
You can thank Nixon for that, by the way. Nixon and Bill Clinton, they are the big reasons why China is such a powerhouse right now.
Yeah, empowered it. I think Nixon should be his grave should be basically dug up, and he should be fucking thrown in the trash for what the hell he did.
Him or Kissinger? What do you think of Kissinger?
He can go to hell too. Kissinger, the Clintons, anyone before Trump is a criminal. They're all criminals. The Bushes, the Obamas, the Clintons, they're all the same family. This is all crime. This is all a crime syndicate.
Fucking
they're all
uniparty.
the same. Trump is the only one who came in there and said, fuck all this shit. You know, it is what it is. But let's go back to the countries in the year of the pig. It's not only the UK who's going to have an issue. India, Pakistan. They're both founded in 1947, year of the pig. They're going to have issues. Economic issues. I think the Indian rupee is going to hell. When it comes down, Pakistan's going to have issues too. There might even be some skirmishes between those countries in 2025.
They're having internal problems right now with their former prime minister, right? I mean, he's got
it's about to get worse.
Yeah,
it's about to get much worse.
Oh, and the thought that I had earlier that I lost my train of. It's about how Russia, arrested about 300 people, I would say, for, posts on social media or for, protesting against the war. And you will never guess how long they went to jail for. It is less than a day for a lot of them. For most of them, less than a day. They were let out basically immediately. They're like, don't do that again.
What about the UK?
The UK, well, they're still in prison. Yeah. Months and months and months and months. All for protesting. Insane.
Why is America supporting the UK?
I don't know.
Why are we not putting sanctions on the UK? We subsidize these people.
But I gotta tell you,
right? 100%.
I don't think America is going to sanction the UK the way you think, only because they're such a strong allied nation.
How are they a strong ally? All they're trying to do is start wars. They're trying to start a war with Russia. It is not in America's interest to start a war with Russia.
And it's totally antithetical.
Starmer needs to go. He needs to fucking go.
Starmer, I agree. I don't think he's gonna. I think he's out.
When was the last time the UK had a good prime minister?
I
can't remember.
I can't. Maybe Margaret Thatcher in 1985.
Well, I mean, the woman did some good things, but I'm not too sure about that.
Not 100%. Yeah, she kind of fucked over the North. Yeah.
When it comes down to Winston Churchill, I want to make this point clear. Donald Trump put a statue of Winston Churchill.
He put it back up,
a bust in his office.
Yep.
Why did he do that? Donald Trump, born 1946, the year of the dog. Winston Churchill, born in the year of the dog. You see how energy works?
Yeah, they're very similar.
You see how energy works?
They've got the same energy.
Twitter had a big deal to do with Donald Trump being elected in 2016 and 2024. Do you guys agree?
Yep, that's right. 100%.
Twitter was founded 2006, the year of the dog.
Oh,
see how this works? All the energy is right there, guys. Again, it doesn't matter where you go with this. And let me just say one more thing. To the real superpower in the Middle East, which is Turkey. Not Iran, which is a paper tiger, but Turkey. They were founded 1923, year of the pig. Yeah, you guys are going to have some problems this year. And I strongly encourage the Turks not to start any more wars, not to go after the Kurds in Syria, because it's going to be a big mistake to attack people in your enemy year. Slow your fucking roll.
By the way, I've been to Turkey a few times. It's beautiful there. I highly recommend anyone who can visits. It's a really beautiful country. So
I agree.
Really,
I've been there.
Yep, love it there. Okay, so in the time we have left, Gary, would it be possible for us to get a reading also from you for Ian and myself?
Of course.
Okay.
Excellent.
Ian?
Yep.
Let's go.
So what do you need?
I just need a birthday, nothing else.
May 27, 1984.
Okay. You are a 9 life path, and that means you're extremely adaptive. You can adapt to any environment very easily. You can be in the ghetto, you can be in high class society, and you'll adapt like that. 9 is the number of adaptability. 9 is also the number of intelligence. Intelligence, it begins with I. I is the ninth letter. So when it comes down to it, 9s can be very intelligent. You are born in the year of the rat. Yep. Rats have a very unique gift. You can sense danger. If there's something wrong, you start getting knots in your stomach. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, you're completely right.
Wow.
I read my gut. If I don't follow my gut, bad things happen. So I got to follow my gut.
And that is the rat's special gift. Israel was founded 1948, the year of the rat. They have a special relationship with America. America's founded 1776, year of the monkey. Monkeys and rats are compatible signs. And by the way, you can't spell Jerusalem without the word USA. And that's exactly why they moved their embassy there.
That's right.
Yeah. It's all there. It looks like your life changed, blah, blah, blah. Let's do the math. About 2012, 2013, that's when you had the major shift in your life. Does that sound about right?
I would say that's when I started getting to like journalism. Yeah.
Yeah, like so that was a major shift. You
left gaming.
Yeah.
Well, not left it, but like you shifted from gaming to journalism.
Yeah, I started doing politics more. Yeah, that's like when a real shift came. Before that, I wasn't really involved in politics at all. I got into politics on the left-wing side, unfortunately, but I got wise. I got wise to it, and here we are.
And by the way, people on Twitter need to stop giving this guy all this heat because everything I've seen him say is very based.
Totally.
I like, it's very based. I think you get attacked for a different reason. I don't really think it's yourself. I think it has to do with, I think it has to do with your association with someone. We'll get to him in a second. Now let's get to you. What is your birthday?
I just want to say before that, it's also that people love to take these micro sound bites and tweets and put them out of context. And they do it Ian all the time.
Or even just fake tweets. There's a lot of fake tweets out there. Yeah.
So, okay, I am, people love it, GG33. And it's white this time, white and black. Fantastic.
Nice.
So 11 and 11. I'll put the other hat on in a second.
So I am May 28th, 85.
Okay. Well, the number 28 is extremely important. You're in the 11 life path in total, which basically means you're an old soul, means you have a lot of charisma. People always come to you for guidance. The reason you guys are really good together is because you're an ox, you're a rat, and rat and ox are like basically soulmates. That's the only soulmate combination all Chinese astrology. I'll give you guys an example. Who protects Israel above all else?
America.
USA.
No. Even above USA.
India.
Mossad.
Mossad, yeah.
Mossad was
Mossad
was founded in an ox year. It protects Israel, who's a rat. They know what they're doing. These people are way smarter than everyone else. I told you about this stuff. How do you ever think you're going to defeat Israel? And you don't even know numerology and astrology. This shit's a joke. This shit's an actual joke. But going back to you, you're born on the 28th, and that is a very, very special number. 28 is the number of wealth. I can bring up Elon Musk is born on the 28th. I mean, Elon thinks it's just him. Nah, buddy, you were born on the 28th. Some of that shit was given to you. Bill Gates was born on the 28th. Carlos Salim was born on the 28th. You're going to notice a lot of people who are in positions of power either are born on the 28th or their family members have something to do with that energy. Mark Zuckerberg is not a 28. Mark Zuckerberg is a 33. But
his sister?
When it comes down to Mark Zuckerberg, his sister is born on the 28th. Or what about Jeff Bezos? He's not a 28. But what about this? His first wife, Mackenzie, was a 28 life path. So again, all the richest people were sitting behind Trump over there in their inauguration. They all have a connection to that 28. Now, a lot of people would say, yo, Gary, you're out your freaking mind. Okay, let's go back to Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is not born on the 28th, but we all know he's richer than Musk. Even Elon said this. He has like almost $1 trillion.
Yeah, we don't know how much money he has. Yeah, there's
quite frankly, I know he was a trillionaire before the war in Ukraine started. I know that. So, but how did he get his wealth? He got married on the 28th. He had his first daughter on the 28th, and that builds wealth. Napoleon. Let's go back to Napoleon. Napoleon was the emperor of France, and he had a strong run until he fucked up in his enemy year. We'll get to that in a second. But Napoleon married Josephine, who was a whore, but Josephine was born on the 28th. After he married her, right like that. It didn't happen. It never would have happened without Josephine. But it also shows you guys, no matter how rich, how powerful you are, women still will cheat on you. Napoleon was the Emperor of France. The Emperor of France. And his girl was cheating on him with every officer she could find. So, I want guys to understand this, man. Learn numerology and astrology like I did. I've been married for 20 years. I got married to a virgin. By the way, I'm Jewish. She was Muslim. And I basically married a virgin because I was never going to marry an American whore. I don't give a fuck how that makes you guys feel. Or anyone else watching this shit. It is what it is. But I started becoming a millionaire when my kid was born on the 28th. Oh, yeah. I use this. I don't just talk about this. I use this myself. Yeah. I'm not a hypocrite who talks about Christianity and I'm going to, submit to Allah or I'm a Muslim, and then they go cheating on their freaking wife. I don't do shit like that. That's what frauds do. I believe in the sanctity of marriage, and quite frankly, we need marriage in society.
It's true.
This homosexuality, all this other shit has destroyed fucking society. It needs to be fixed. You look at the richest asset manager in the world. It's not BlackRock. No. It's Vanguard.
Yeah, it's Vanguard.
BlackRock is a public company. You can buy stock in BlackRock. Me, you, everyone watching can buy stock in BlackRock. Vanguard is a private company. And by the way, Vanguard owes 10% of Vanguard owes 10% of BlackRock. So who do you think tells BlackRock what to do? It's Vanguard. And by the way, Vanguard was founded 5/1/1975. So I know there's some slow people out there like Nick Fuentes, so I'm going to do this real slow. 5/1/1975 adds up to 28. And quite frankly, all you got to do is go on Google Images and look up Rolex. Look up Rolex right here. And you're going to find out every single Rolex ad has the number 28 in it because they know 28 is a number of wealth. This is how they lead. And by the way, Rolex is not the flex. Rolex, the company, was founded in the snake year. I'm born in the snake year. This is why I wear this. Not the flex because it matches my energy. I will never wear an AP. AP was founded in a pig year. That's what Elon should be wearing. He should not wear Rolexes. He should wear APs.
I love AP.
AP is a pig. You're an ox. You're fine.
Yeah.
No issues with that.
Is Rolex okay?
So
for you?
you're okay.
What
It's fine
about
for you. I don't remember every single company, but there is something called the Qwit app, and this is an app I created.
Yeah.
And it's on Google and it's on Apple. I'm going to tell you a funny story about this. I sell my prices for a premium. There's no doubt about it. It costs a lot of money to talk to me. It is what it is. I'm not going to fucking apologize.
You should, Gary.
It is what it is. But when it came to my app, and I wanted to get it approved through Apple, they basically said I was charging too much. I was charging like $8.99. Again, everything adds up to 8 in me. And they're like, that's too much. And I'm like, wait a second, Apple. You charge a premium for your computers compared to everyone else because your product is that much more superior than everyone else. So after about 2 weeks of going back and forth, they let me have my way. And now I have the #1 astrology app on Apple and Google.
Oh, so again,
can you spell it out?
The Qwit app. That's the Qwit app.
Oh, I just looked up when Panerai was founded. It was founded in 1860, and that is the year of the monkey. So I have a watch where it complements my my rat year.
You see how this works?
Amazing.
You see how this works? This is how it's supposed to work. And if you guys take some time and put down your Bibles and put down your Qurans, and I have to say Torah, or they're going to say I'm a Jewish supremacist, so I have to add that one in there too. Okay? If you put down all your holy books and start studying numerology and astrology for a little bit, maybe the world will start making sense to you. Maybe you'll be able to be married one time to a virgin like I was, and you'll have to be fucking around with ran through whores.
What's your wife's life path number?
She's a 5.
And you're 33, so that's
correct.
Okay.
I don't know. When it comes down to my wife, she is a rooster, and I'm a snake. And rooster and snake are the best combination. So again, I use this stuff myself, and I've never been divorced. You have frauds like Andrew Wilson, who talks about Christianity, talks about this and that. Right? Oh yeah, he even lied to me about his birthday, but that's typical for people like that.
Why would anyone lie about their birthday?
It's like you give me the wrong address, and then when I get there, you're like, ha ha. I'm like, what the fuck? But Andrew Wilson claims to be honestly, they need to change Andrew Wilson's name to Joseph because he's taking care of another man's kids. I'm going to put it like this. How dare you go on the Whatever podcast and Fresh and Fit and talk shit to girls and call them simps when you're actually taking care of kids that are not even your own? You're a simp yourself. Had to put that shot out there.
That will be clipped. Let
me say this. Ben Shapiro, he's going to have a tough year. Born in the year of the pig. XRP. I'm not XRP. What's his name?
XQC.
XQC. Yeah, that fucking loser. He's going to have a real tough year. Well, no, because he went on the stream with Donald Trump when Aiden Ross. And Aiden Ross is someone I had beef with. I squashed it. And the only reason I squashed it was because he supported Donald Trump. Yeah. I had a beef with a guy called Bryce Hall, a big TikTok star. And as soon as I saw he supported Donald Trump, beef squashed. It is what it is. But this son of a bitch, he basically went on stream with Aiden and Trump, and then he bet $2 million on Kamala to win the freaking election. You stupid son of a bitch. You deserve everything negative you have coming to you. You, Destiny, Omni-Liberal, all you guys are going to get yours for going against Donald Trump. I promise
Destiny's getting hits right now.
He's getting hit right now. And by the way, Destiny's a dragon. Donald Trump's enemy sign. You're going to love seeing the Trump administration in the office because, see, when you have a dog in power, the dragons will suffer. You are a dragon. It's coming for you.
Gary,
and
has his enemy year come up yet then? Trump went through his enemy year last year, right?
Yeah, he got shot. Yeah. And he got hit with 34 felonies. And by the way, we can go back to his enemy year in 2000, which was a dragon year. He was forced to sell one of his buildings because he got sued and he lost. So again, everyone gets hit in enemy years. And I forgot, we still got to go through all the enemy years. So we haven't done that yet. But we talked about, the last one we talked about was Monkey and Tiger. After that, you have the cat and the rooster. 2023 was a cat year. Vince McMahon, born 1945, year of the rooster. That's when he started losing everything. And you have P. Diddy. No Diddy. But P. Diddy got caught and he started getting hit in his enemy year. He's born 1969, year of the rooster. He got hit in his enemy year. By the way, who has been going at P. Diddy for the past 15 years? 50 Cent. 50 Cent is born 1975, year of the cat. So we have a cat who is actually exposing the rooster. Again, you see how the system works. Next one, dragon and dog. Donald Trump is a dog. His fiercest enemies, Nancy Pelosi was a dragon. Some of the people who basically betrayed him in office. By the way, Kamala was a dragon. He was running against her. So you see how that enemy sign combination works. The last one is the pig and the snake. Logan Paul. Not going to be a good year. Sorry to tell you that. Born 1995. And again, this is nothing personal against Logan Paul. I mean, he is a cuck, but it's nothing personal against him. It is what it is. But going on, now let's talk about your boy Elon.
Okay.
We talked about that. Kobe and... let's talk about your boy Elon. I want to say this first. There's no doubt the impact that Elon Musk made on society.
Definitely.
No one can take that away from him.
100%.
There's no doubt that Elon Musk is one of the richest men in the world. And quite frankly, based off his numerology, 628, 1971, he's a 7 life path. 7s are the geniuses. Genius starts with G. G's the 7th letter. So again, I'm going to give the man his flowers first. But quite frankly...
Now it's coming.
Frankly, my friend, I'm going to make this abundantly clear. Let me take my glasses off for this. I'm going to make this abundantly clear. You bought X for $44 billion. If you want to suspend me or other people, that is your right. That is your property. It's a private company. You can do anything you want. But what you can't do is say it's about freedom of speech and then suspend me for no freaking reason. That's garbage. That's absolute trash. And quite frankly, this guy cost me millions of dollars from suspending me from January 2024. The liberal regime was suspending me 22 times for saying the truth about COVID vaccine, for saying the truth about all of this other stuff. I got suspended left and right, trying to say the election was stolen in 2020. I was suspended left and right. And guess what? It cost me millions. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because of course, I understand that. Because if you put your face out there and you actually stand by your words, you will be punished in some way. But you know what? Do you know how many people's lives I've saved? Do you know how many people come to me in DMs to this day and say, Gary, thank you for telling us not to take the vaccine, because I've seen people around me die, but I convinced my mom or my dad not to take it because of you. And the people who took it are basically sick or dying all around us. I know people who have died
from taking the vaccine
at
a young age. Gary, you know what? It's the karmic. It's the karmic.
Yes, 100%.
It comes back.
100%.
It comes back. And you will be rewarded for it. But loud and clear,
your enemy year is coming, sir. It's coming in 48 hours. You're about to be humbled, my friend. The Trump administration is already pushing you out, as I predicted way before we did this podcast. I said the Trump administration would start pushing him out. What happened? Mr. Trump's basically secretary chief of staff said, you don't have any access.
That's not confirmed. That's just a Daily Mail article, and there have been some pushback against it. There's been some pushback.
There's a lot of, Steve Bannon has a lot of pull in the Trump administration.
I don't know if he's got pull in Susie Wiles, though. I don't think he does.
Susie Wiles is a rooster. Steve Bannon's a snake, where he talked about that combination. So he actually does have pull. You made an enemy out of someone who's a snake. And quite frankly, I think Sam Altman, a homosexual with his AI system, someone that Elon went after, he basically got the AI endorsement from Donald Trump. I'm not sure Elon was too happy about that. So here's what I'm going to tell you,
he doesn't have the money, though.
He probably doesn't. But I'm going to be very clear with you, Elon. You're going to get humbled.
It means he has to lay low.
You are going to get humbled. You basically took out my Twitter. Do you understand? Last year it was just me talking shit about Elon. Now everybody's talking shit about Elon. And let me tell you something. Some of that has to do with me. I do hit pieces on this guy on YouTube. I do hit pieces on this guy on IG.
Really,
you knew this was coming.
Cause, my friend.
I know. It's all right.
You're helping your cause. You want to be unbanned.
He can get me unbanned. If you are really about free speech, unban me. And give me my Fine GG33 account back. Give me my Numerology Now account back. Give my people, Myron, his blue check mark back. And stand by your words that you said this is free speech. If you want to say, this is my program, I can do anything I want, that's fair. It's your money. It's your company. It's a private company. But you said free speech. How the fuck you give Nick Fuentes a fucking account back and I don't get my account back? You give Nazis fucking accounts back, but you won't give it to me. That's fucked up.
Gary, loud
and I'm going to keep going after you until you fucking correct your mistake.
Message her loud and clear. And
he cost me millions, bro. If someone cost you millions, you'd be going after him the same way. You would.
I hear you, pal. I hear you.
Definitely. No, that definitely hits.
I mean, you have a right to be mad, and maybe he'll listen to this.
He will listen to this.
Listen. I have built millions of followers on IG. I bet millions of followers on TikTok. I'm even talking about combined. YouTube, I got like 250,000. But I got fan accounts with millions too.
But
why can't I do this on Twitter? Why can't I do this on Twitter? Why is he stopping me from doing this to me on Twitter?
I think you'll be able to.
I should have 500,000 followers on Twitter by now. It's embarrassing that I have to go by a name of Matrix Prime. I can't even use my real name because you're going to suspend me. It's embarrassing. People ask me, why do you only have 40,000, 50,000 on Twitter? Because I've been suspended 24 fucking times. So you know what
you can do then for our audience? Can you tell them what your handles are on X, on Instagram, on whatever handles you want to promote?
I'll put my handles on X. I'll probably get suspended again.
So this is a good
I'll probably get suspended again if I put them out there. But it's all right. It's okay. My account right now on Twitter is Matrix Prime _. And if you suspend my account, all good. It's your right. But you're lying about free speech if you do. My accounts that he did suspend is basically Fine GG33 and Numerology Now. Those are the accounts you took away from me, and it was unfair of you to do it. But, it is what it is. I'm still surviving. I'm still making my money. But you cost me millions, so I'm going to do everything in my power to cost you billions. It is what it is. All right? So let's go. And by the way, all his biggest attackers on Twitter, my boys. Remember that. I did that to you. I went after you. I orchestrated this plan for a long time. I will tell you right now, you do the right thing, all that stuff stops. All the stuff on IG stops. All the stuff on YouTube stops. I'm sick and tired of this shit.
Okay.
If it doesn't, you have your right to do whatever. My handle on IG is MatrixPrime_. My handle on TikTok is GG33 Academy. My handle on YouTube is GG33 Academy. And quite frankly, I use Twitter more than anything. That's my individual one.
You
I love Twitter.
Twitter's the best.
I love Twitter. I didn't give a damn about these other platforms for 2 years. And shout out to Zuckerberg, because he's allowed me to get away with more stuff on IG than your free speech boy did on X. And this is just the truth. It's just the truth. Okay? I could go a lot harder right now. I'm honestly holding back because of you guys. I actually could go a lot harder. Yeah, I'm trying to be respectful for you guys.
First of all,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. This has been so fantastic, so insightful. We're definitely going to have you on again. We're definitely going to have you on more often. And I just want to say, first of all, when are our enemy years? Jeez.
Your enemy year is going to be in 2027. That's the year of the goat. And your enemy year is going to be 2026, the year of the horse, and since you're a rat. So basically what that means is go hard this year, and you go hard, really go hard, because you're in your friend year coming up, and you just lay low in your enemy year. And that's the thing about Elon.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to lay low. He doesn't know how to lay low. And if he doesn't, he's going to get humbled.
So
I encourage you, Elon, lay low. Don't look for fights in your enemy year. It's not going to worth it. It doesn't matter how rich you are, how smart you are, whatever you know. Everyone gets humbled in their enemy year. Literally everybody. I went through Hitler. I went through all these. Yeah, this is good advice for everybody.
Anyone who's in their enemy year, this goes back to it, right? Your numerology. This is. I guess we'll close off with this, right? If you don't mind. Anyone whose numerology is, they can look at their life path, they can look at their numerological signs, and is it predetermined destiny? There's nothing they can basically do.
Oh my God, that's such a good question. I love answering that question. So when people ask you if it's free will or destiny, it's actually both. I'll explain how that's possible. It's predetermined where you are born and where you die. That's predetermined. Your journey of how you get there is free will. The journey is the free will. But the final destination, that's predetermined. That's how you can have both.
Got it. Thank you.
Any last? And one more thing. Please. And one more thing. Give my boy Myron Gaines his blue check mark back. No. I'm gonna be serious.
I'm not Elon. I can't give it back.
No. He has spent $10,000 twice to get that blue check mark in the company thing.
The gold check mark. Okay.
The gold check mark. And he basically got suspended twice, and they took $20,000 from him. I mean, come on, man. This is not even fair. If you're not gonna give him his blue check mark back, then give him his money back. I mean, he gave you $20,000. He believes that much in X that he gave you guys $20,000. And quite frankly, I promise you, Elon, if you actually do the right thing and you actually put all these guys, actually give them their blue check marks back, I will personally go at Nick Fuentes every fucking day. I hate the son of a bitch. He's a piece of fucking garbage.
Message loud and clear. Gary,
you can go after him for free.
Guys, no, because I have no reach.
No, you will soon. You have plenty of, your reach is growing again. I'm sure you won't experience, any of the stuff that you're saying. I think it also has to do with the algorithms that are constantly changing. But I think your message has been heard loud and clear. And
I'm sick of people attacking Jews 24/7. There is a difference between Zionist and Jews, especially political Zionism and Jews. Yeah. Okay, there's a big difference. Okay, Jews are the scapegoats for a lot of political Zionist crimes. And Nick Fuentes and these groypers. And let me tell you something about these groypers. Okay, they're literally broke. They're literally broke people who basically live in their mom's basement, have nameless, faceless accounts, and they talk shit all day. Yeah, we talked about this. They need to go.
Keyboard warriors.
Let's make X great again. Make it for what you say it's gonna be. And I promise you, if you do that, brother, I'll even help you navigate against some of this stuff.
So Gary,
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Gary, I'm sure there's a lot of also world leaders who probably are going to be, requesting your expertise. And we didn't even get to talk about.
I talked to some of them already.
I believe it. I believe it, and I'm sure that you're going to have even more in the coming months and years ahead. So
a lot of them are where you live.
oh, I believe it. That's awesome. To be continued. So
To be continued.
to be continued.
Remember what I told you. Numerology and astrology are basically gifts from the prime creator.
Oh, you're right.
You know, there's 12 signs of numerology, one sun. 12 Federal Reserve banks, one Maine, one in D.C. 12 astrology signs, one sun. One Jesus, 12 disciples. It's always like that. That's because there's 13 Illuminati bloodline families, from the Rothschilds to the Rockefellers to the Morgans, who Lee family, who run the freaking world. That has never changed.
Also,
and they always pay homage.
They do. Gary, one more thing, if I may say. This is California's enemy year, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's burning, and I actually predicted that.
What you did predict that. And also, one of the members of the Rothschild family died in the fire, apparently. They reported on that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That basically says there's going to be a war somewhere over that. You can't take out a Rothschild and get away with it. It is what it is. It's been a pleasure with you guys. Thank you for your time, and I make sure we'll do this again. Definitely. And we're gonna clip the hell out of this, and we're gonna get a lot of views. I promise you.
No shit.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Gary. Thank you so much.
Thank you.